Welcome back. In this video, we'll talk about ideas generated from pain. Throughout this course, I'm going to take you through 5 sources of ideas. The first one we'll cover today in this video, and that's ideas from pain. So we'll start with ideas from pain. And the question that we're answering when we're trying to find an idea from pain is, what is a pain or a friction that exists today, and how can we fix it? Now, when you ask someone what is the pain and they tell you and they can very well verbalize it, then maybe others already know about this pain. So that pain would rank a little lower on my scale of the probability of a great idea, because everybody knows about this pain. So somebody is probably working or already have worked on solving it. The pains that are really great to find are the ones where the customers actually don't know about the pain or got used to that pain and don't think that there is another way to live without it. The picture here represents my daughter, my older daughter, when she was about 4 years old. Grandparents came over to town and Grandpa held one hand, Grandma held the other hand, and they swung her around until they heard a pop. And at that moment, Maya popped her elbow. And she was in great pain. But what she realized was that as long as she holds her hand straight down, it doesn't hurt. So the way we knew about that was that we realized that the way we knew that something is going on, still going on, is that we realized that Maya was just holding her right hand down and doing things with her left hand, which was kind of strange because Maya is right-handed. And it took a while to realize that she actually had a pain in her right elbow, and we took her to a hospital, and she dislocated her elbow, and they relocated her elbow back, and everything was good. But Maya just got used to dealing with that pain. So it's not that she didn't realize she had the pain, she just realized that there's a way to live with it, and it doesn't need to be solved. She didn't complain. She didn't say, please help me solve it. Henry Ford was known to have said, if I had to ask them being the customers, if I had to ask them what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. So once again, you don't ask the customer for what is the solution. They may not realize that there is a pain. What is the pain with riding horses? Well, they're too slow. They need to be fed. They need to be maintained. There are a lot of issues with horses, but customers got used to this is how horses work. And if Henry Ford would have said, what is the pain that you have with horses? They probably wouldn't have said, oh, give us a car, give us a mechanical horse. Do you know if anybody, even yourselves, if, iPhone first came out in 2007, so maybe you were too young for it, but I wasn't too young, and I can tell you that I never thought of my cell phone the way they looked, the flip phones back then. I never thought, oh, you know what? My phone doesn't have an app store. My phone needs to have app store. My phone needs to have music on it. My phone needs to have all kinds of other communications, needs to have apps. It needs to have a touch screen. I never thought about these things. I never thought about that pain. So the greatness or your greatness and a great idea would be if you can identify a pain, a real pain, that the customer is not even aware, doesn't realize that that pain actually exists. So that's my challenge to you. Find a pain that is a real pain, a strong pain, that the customer doesn't even realize that it exists. Now, there are multiple sources to find pains, and one of them, for example, comes from a Gallup survey when people were asked, Americans, and I don't remember how many of them, but they typically use thousands of people in their surveys, and they were asked about what is your fear about fraud or crimes in general. Number one fear. So I'm going to start with the bottom, actually. Number 10. The number 10 was being sexually assaulted. Only 27% of Americans worried about that. 28% were worried about getting murdered. These were ranking low. Top 72% being the victim of identity theft. That's what people worry about today. Number 2, 57%. It's still double as much as being murdered or sexually assaulted is being tricked by a scammer to sending money or financial information or give access to financial information. Those are things that people care about, that people worry about. Those are all pains. And of course, with all the scams happening today, identity theft and so on, people are just more and more worried about it. So there are multiple sources to find what the pain is without sometimes asking people themselves. Here, Gallup did ask them themselves. Okay, I'll see you on the next video.